Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So real quick, I just want to say I deleted the New York Knicks video from yesterday because the website that I went to look at all those draft picks, the website was completely fucking wrong. So I just deleted the video because I was like, even though the video was like starting to do well, I was like, yeah, you know what? We're done with this. I'm done. I'm not leaving this up because it's wrong, and so I got rid of that. But now I get to talk about the thing I actually wanted to talk about, and that was the Washington Wizards, because honestly, I'm just going to say this, I don't think they're a team that's ever going to win a championship in the Bradley Beal era. I just don't. And the reason I say that is because, A, you're relying on a 29-year-old Bradley Beal to backpack you to the playoffs every year. Like, you need Bradley Beal just to get to the playoffs. If Bradley Beal is not on that team and not playing, they're not even a playoff team. Like, they're fucking bad, okay? And they've not defended the three well this year. They're letting teams shoot 37% from three against them this year. The shooting efficiency offensively is fucking horrendous. It's like bottom half of the league bad. And when I look at this team, they really need a playmaking point guard. They really need some bench depth. You're relying on Bradley Beal to get you to the playoffs. You're relying on Kristaps Porzingis' health to make any type of run in the playoffs. I mean, right now, Kristaps Porzingis is playing pretty well. He's played 22 games. He started 22 games. He's shooting 47% from the field, 36% from three, averaging about 21 a game on 9 rebounds, basically 8.8, and 1.5 blocks a game. But Porzingis is also not really what he used to be. I understand that the Wizards are utilizing him a lot differently than the Mavericks did. The Wizards are actually going to that mismatch when he gets it, and that's good, because that's the way you should utilize Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, he's fucking 7'2", 7'3". But the thing is, man, I just think this team simply doesn't have enough. Like, Kyle Kuzma is like their second best player, and Kyle Kuzma shoots 45% from the field, 31% from three. I think he's shooting like 73% from the free throw line. It's just like, I just feel like any team where Kyle Kuzma is your second, arguably third best option, you're probably not going very deep. You'll be lucky to make the playoffs, and if you make the playoffs, you're a first-round exit. I hate to say that, but, that's what the fuck they are. And, they have Monte Morris, who is, would be a great bench point guard for them, but they really need a solid all-around starting point guard, and they don't even have a first-round pick in this year's draft. Like, in the 2023 draft, there's a couple guys coming out that I'm like, if they could trade somebody for, like, a top 10 pick, right? Even if it's, like, top 5 protected, right? If they could get a guy like Cason Wallace out of Kentucky or Anthony Black out of Arkansas, because I really don't think they're going to get... I doubt they're going to get Scoot Henderson. Like, there's nothing on their roster other than Bradley Beal that I think warrants giving up a top 3 protected or like a top 3 pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't think anybody else on their team warrants that. So there's that. And also, like, Will Barton is a guy that, like, yeah, he's good. He can score. He fills up he fills the bucket. You know what I'm saying? He's good at scoring, but oftentimes I watch him play and I'm just like, I wish he would just pass the fucking ball instead of shoot. Like, I can't tell you how many times I see a guy wide open and Will Barton will go to the basket on like 2 or 3 fucking people to try and make a fucking layup. I mean, don't get me wrong, Will Barton's a solid player, but he gets tunnel vision and doesn't even, like, his offensive awareness is just, it's fucking horrendous. I've given up on Denny Avdia. I've given up on Rui Hachimura. Like, Rui Hachimura is their 4th best player, right? Like, that's where we're at. And I love Daniel Gafford. I will say that. I think Daniel Gafford is a fucking stud. I have a feeling like in the future, down the road, he could be a starting center in the NBA for somebody. I don't know who. But it's just like, that's their team. Their team is Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis, Monte Morris, Will Barton, and Daniel Gafford, right? Like, that's their roster, and they really need shooting. They really need a guy who's going to open up the floor. At least if they added a point guard, like, Kyrie Irving's going to be a free agent. Okay, I'm just going to say this, okay? And I'm not saying this is going to happen, but Kyrie Irving is in the final year of his contract on a player option, and he becomes an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. Even if Kyrie Irving is not a playmaking point, right? He's not a pass-first guy, but he can shoot the three. He's a decent scorer. He's a really good basketball player. And honestly, I don't really know how much teams are going to be breaking down Kyrie Irving's door to sign him, because it seems like nobody even wants to fucking trade for him, which kind of makes sense. I mean, because they could just, if they really wanted him, sign him in the offseason for nothing, instead of trading for him. But the Wizards are a team that could benefit from Kyrie Irving, who is an efficient shooter. He's very good at creating space, very good at shooting the three, very good at finishing around the basket. Even if he's not a pass-first guy, like, he adds to your shooting, right? He adds to your efficiency. And honestly, he would make the game a lot easier for Bradley Beal. Because right now, Bradley Beal is trying to backpack this team to the playoffs, and they're relying on Kristaps Porzingis' health, and I'm just like, yeah, he's played 22 games. He started all 22 games and is shooting pretty well, 47% from the field, 36% from three. He's doing his thing. He's shooting like 80% from the free throw line as well. So Porzingis is doing his thing. It's just like they really need a solid number 2 guy. And I feel like they could maybe do that with Kyrie Irving, but then I wonder about the money, because it's like, well, you signed Bradley Beal to that super crazy max contract, and I think in order to go to Washington, Kyrie Irving is going to want another max deal. I don't know that to be true, but it's just like, There were a team that I thought could have really used a guy like Colin Sexton, when he was a free agent this past offseason, and they didn't even have enough cap space to sign him. So I'm just kind of like, not only did they really strap themselves for cash, but now the Wizards are going through a period where they can't really sign a big name free agent because they just simply don't. I just don't think they have the cap space to do something like that. And they're not a top free agent destination. So this is a team that's going to have to use draft picks to kind of build their team, and they don't even have a first-round pick in this upcoming draft. So, I don't know, man. They need to shore up the defense on three. They need to rebound a little better. Their shooting efficiency definitely needs to see some improvement. DeLon Wright is just a fucking waste of space on their fucking roster. But I look at this team and I'm like, they signed Bradley Beal to this huge deal, and they're never going to be able to fulfill the promise they made to him. They're just not. Like, yeah, you could say, oh yeah, we're gonna be competitive, but the way that they're relying on Kristaps Porzingis and the draft to be competitive, it's kind of like they're never gonna win. They're never gonna be like, and even if they do, right? Like, they're wasting Bradley Beal's prime years by just being a shitty team. Like, you signed him to this max like, honestly, let's just call it what it is. Do you think Bradley Beal really gives a fuck about the money? Like, he's been on the Wizards roster for how long now? Like 10, 11 years. Like, he's made his money. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants to fucking win. Go help him win. I understand, the $250 million, $256 million contract or something like that shows appreciation for him staying there and, being their guy. But, like, you can pay Bradley Beal all you want. He's not leading you to a championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Celtics needed Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. LeBron needed Wade and Bosh, right? Like, even Damian Lillard, like, it's just, you look at these teams and I'm just like, I think to myself, like, Curry had KD and, he had Clay and Draymond and stuff like that. Like, Curry's case is a little different, but it's just the idea. Most guys who win, most teams that win have 2 or 3 star, borderline superstar players on them to win championships. And the Wizards are just that team that I'm like, Kristaps Porzingis is like a borderline, like, star player. Kyle Kuzma, I'd say, is like in the borderline star player conversation. We know Bradley Beal's a star, but it's just like, outside of that, you don't really have much to go on. And if those are your 3 best players, you're probably not winning a championship. And being that you've now signed Bradley Beal to such a big contract, it's like, you know, not only were you not really a huge free agent destination to start with, but now you don't, that's more money that you don't have to offer another guy, you know, because some guys will go. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a player in the NBA who maybe doesn't desire Washington, D.C. as a place to play in, but you pay him a whole lot of fucking bread to go there, he's probably going to go there, you know? You know, money talks and bullshit walks, you know, so, especially in the NBA. So, all I'm saying is, man, this is a team that I just don't think is going to be able to ever be a championship contender so long as Bradley Beal is there, only because they're really banking on Bradley Beal being able to backpack that team. And at the same time, I just think they don't have the resources to put the proper team around Bradley Beal to win. And he's 29. Like, I don't consider players to start getting old until they're like 35, and even 35 is not old, but like it's approaching it. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually players are on the decline at that point and not the incline. So I'm just like, yeah, you guys got like 6 years to really figure this the fuck out. And that's still a very long time, but you'd be shocked at how fast that's gonna come. You know, so same thing with Damian Lillard in Portland, man. I'm just like, you know, Damian Lillard's already 32 years old. They have 3 years to figure that the fuck out, and those 3 years are gonna go like this. So I don't know, man. Tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like, helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.